Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are here for the first episode of Macross Plus. But, for all new and returning viewers, you should know that we are watching this in a chronological watch order of the entire Macross series. That means we've already started at Macross Zero, and we just finished SDF Macross. So if you wonder how we know things or what we do know, click on the playlist that says Macross. That is all of the series put together in the order that we're watching them. Otherwise, I know nothing about Macross. I'm the new guy here. The only person who knows anything about Macross is Lessons here, so why don't you take it away?
Macross Plus was an OVA and movie. It's after SDF1, and it's the adventures of three characters, all of them adults as opposed to the younger characters in SDF1 who grow up. Um, it's supposed to be the more adult version of Macross, right? With all the familiar elements. It's in the colony of Eden and includes romantic triangle or perhaps quadrangle, including a new star called Sharon Apple, um, which is an AI creation, apparently.
I gotta
A
stop you.
Virgin Ida.
I want to stop you real quick, Lessons. Don't spoil the whole thing for me, please. I mean, you
Well,
started going like it's the colony of Eden. I'm like, that's a bit of a spoiler, and then you just kept going. Look, the
let's
only
just say
thing
that.
I know is it takes place in 2040. That's the only
Mhm.
element I know, and that's because I've ordered the whole thing by which episode or which series.
Okay, so let's based on what you know, because I'm jumping at the fact that probably a lot of the audience member knows all about this. That's probably why they're watching. Essentially, we left SDF-1 Macross with colony fleets going out into the galaxy, and they started colonizing different worlds. And this is one of them. So the story takes over in Eden in what I call the first wave of post Space War One colonization. So this essentially is a generation, the next generation
Right,
of
right,
people.
because Misa was supposed to command the very first new ship that was going to go out there and spread culture, Earth culture throughout the galaxy to make sure that it would never be lost again. Okay,
It's yeah.
that I mean, that's how SDF Macross ended. Well, that's how SDF Macross the series ended. Okay, for future reference, since we're going to do this for a number of times because there's a number of Macross series, when you're telling me what the show is going to be like, don't treat it like a history class. Because you're telling me point for point, this is the history of the world that we live in, and this is what's happening now. I don't know. I don't know how I want you to come at me, but be as vague as possible and set my expectations. Don't tell me what's going to happen, though. I want to be
um,
surprised. I want the show to surprise me and tell me.
I will say that the events of Macross Plus are simultaneous to some of the events in Macross 7 because there's multiple things happening. It wasn't just one fleet, there's multiple fleets. So when we do jump eventually, well, we get to, and I jump to Macross 7, it's like, wait a minute, but you said something about fleets. Like, yeah, no, there's just more than one that's happening. So
Yeah.
I want to say, like, wait a minute, this is it. They just went to this planet and that's all they did. No, other things. Also, there's information that I don't know because I didn't play the games, but there's some things from VFX 1 and VFX 2 that tie in with stuff that's happening here. So, yes, some of the games, PlayStation games, are canon to the story.
Do you ever
What
play
is,
any emulator games? Do you ever emulate games?
I emulate mostly MAME, but
Because I
I want to,
don't know if you're amicable to this, but I want to throw out an idea at you. You know what? I'll throw it out at you between the recording segments, just so we don't have like a thing on here and you don't feel like pressured because you're getting recorded, and I don't have to edit anything out. I have an idea. You might be interested.
yeah. I've been trying to emulate Xbox games, but Xbox OC games, but those are difficult to emulate and find the ROMs for the ones that I want, which are mecha games, like the Robotech games, like the Mech Assault games. Those games I haven't been able to emulate effectively. So,
I don't think I've done NES and SNES because I was doing my Final Fantasy playthrough from the original onwards, but kind of fell off on that. events happen. But yeah, no, I think I've gotten enough here. I think I've gotten way more than enough. And yeah, I think the other thought I had is, of course, when I was putting the series order together, I put it by year that the show takes place in. So
Mhm.
that's the if you have any idea of what I know going in anything, it's what year it takes place in. That's it.
Yeah,
Other than that, though, before you tell me too much more else, I think we should probably get into the show. What do you think?
we should. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good idea. Yeah.
All right. But before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some more early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. It's $5 a month, but hey, no pressure. It's all to support the channel, just a little bit extra. I unfortunately do not know what this says. What it does give me a feel of, though, is Gunbuster. Sorry, I guess to explain that comment, we had a little technical error there for a second. We had to restart from like the 1 minute mark. This animation style sort of reminds me of Gunbuster, but
Hmm.
also the starting off in silence with a couple of untranslated Japanese text.
This was the first anime album that I bought that I had. I have it somewhere around here. It's a
That
two
dude,
set Macross box.
that dude's pale green. That dude's dying. Also, King of Fighters hat. Just want to point that out too. This time in recording.
Also, I mean, the animation is very different from what we've seen before. It's very angular.
Well, that's what I said. It reminds me of, I think, Gunbuster, which was late 80s, early 90s, same era this came out. If I'm right, Lessons, I'm pretty sure this is what, 92? Has a 92 feel to the anime?
Pretty much.
That's a joke he told me last time in the first minute. That could be that wine connoisseur that tries to locate where the region the wine came from.
Also, also the person that, and I forgot her name, that it's a who made this soundtrack. Essentially, she became like the chief uh, person that did all the music for everything afterwards.
Yeah, I know. I don't know that from this. I just mean I know that the comments on the new Macross thing is basically what she want to sing.
Yoko Ano, I think her name is. Not to be confused with.
God, I hope we went back to see what that that ship was. God damn it.
Come on, come on. Yes. Nani? 貴様何のあれだ?
Was that a skull? Did I see a skull on him? I mean, this is so much of an improvement, obviously. No, it's just wings. It's not a skull.
Eternal Circus. Which was a thing in the original Macross, but not as much as it is starting with this show. Like the missile spam thing.
It's always you and Spacey. Yeah, no, we saw it a lot during the end. I mean, Mila did it a bunch.
どこにでありますか?
エコ衛星の巡回修理、バーナード製の衛星破片処理、惑星バニパルの炭鉱夫もしくは、だがこれらのチーム
God, what happened to your fucking chin,
貴
man?
様のような荒くれ無法者を受け入れてくれる。
Hit by a bar.
よって貴様の転属先はここだ。
Sorry, a UN Spacey Admiral walks into a bar. This guy happened.
イトセン
いいか、テストパイロットには敵機は現れんがな、自分自身が敵なんだ。そこをよーく。
テストパイロットになれるんですね。
おい、これはちゃんと上官の話を。
ダイソン注意、直ちに任務に就きます。
So was that a test from before, or was that an actual combat mission?
That was an actual combat mission.
Okay, I didn't.
Again,
You never
against
can tell when
Centrati.
simulators are happening. That's my problem.
No, it's against Centrati. Yeah. Centrati remnants, I suppose.
Well, yeah.
It's
Oh,
interesting.
there would be
this
other fleets
base-
out there.
Yeah. This base is named after a real base, Edwards Air Force Base in California, where they actually do testing of.
Edwards
Yeah.
is a pretty famous base. I mean, you would know it from a bunch of sci-fi movies too, and I guess in real life. What the fuck? That hasn't always been a thing, has it?
What?
The brainwave control thing.
No, this is a test aircraft. Yeah.
マンマシンウェーブコンタクトシンクロ完了ガルド氏に脳内ダイレクトイメージシステム BDI への接続願います
Why's that name sound familiar?
Gould?
Has there been a previous Gould in another Macross before?
Well, there was Podolsk, the leader, but
BDI システム良好
Why does a fighter need X-ray vision?
well, infrared, I suppose.
No, the previous one was a skeletal structure.
Anti-stealth measure, I suppose.
Sorry, Chief, I've got one to lock on, but it looks like you've got cancer. You do not want to know what his butt's doing right now.
The makeup on in this, particularly in this series, is just amazing.
Well, I feel like they hit us with so much information in that one meeting scene that this is like time to digest while you're staring at cool visuals.
なんだ。こちらイーグル107ニューエドワーズ至急応答を求め。こちらニューエドワーズどうぞ。たった今エリア7高度38000を未確認飛行物体が通過したんだがレーダー反応がない。そちらで確認を求む。エリア7それならば心配ない。詳細の説明はできかねるが。まさかあれが噂の新型じゃん。すげえや。
I mean, he's a test pilot too. Wouldn't you just gonna find out anyway? Or just
Yeah, but you're not
about
supposed to
doing
talk
it on
about-
open comms.
Yeah, exactly.
ハローエドワーズ、イサム・ダイソン注意です。
Yeah, his name is Isamu Dyson. So anybody who knows sci-fi might recognize those two names.
Yeah, Dyson Sphere. I don't know Samu though. Sorry, my even though he's a dude, and that was just like a number of measurements, my eyes went immediately to the bust.
で、
There's his bust measurements.
まあ一息つきたまえ。計画主任のミラートだ。君は気が短いそう。は、昇進が求めないタイプだな。
はい、あまり昇進しますとパイロットではいられなくなりますから。
なるほど。しかし今回の任務はある程度欲を持って挑んでもらいたい。
I'm glad to see the uniforms evolved though.
席に着きたまえ。
No more giant hats.
本プロジェクトスーパーノバは現在実戦配備中の VF11。
Let anybody know right now. Episode 3 is going to have a lot of notes we're going to go over.
We're
recording 2 back to
Is
back,
it-
and I'm going to have
There's
a lot of
also-
notes.
This is also based on the VF 20, 22 and VF 23, I think, competition of a stealth fighter. They gave us the F 22 Raptor. I think it was on VF 19. It was VF 21 or something.
もしくは捕虜の救出などを目的とする。新生インダストリー社の YF19、ゼネラルギャラクシー社の YF21 の2機を比較判定していく。優秀な方にこのプロジェクトを任せることになっている。
で、いつ乗れるんでしょうか。
So it's going to be the two guys that we saw at the very beginning, flying different planes.
1週間後にはファクトリーから返還される予定です。
1週間後？
テスト中の事故で現在修理中です。
そりゃパイロットに恵まれてなかったな。ま、自分が来たからにはもう万事 OK ノープロブレム。
今までのパイロットもみんな同じようなことを言ってましたよ。実際乗るまではね。そして4人のパイロットが医療保険を受け、2人が棺の中で2階級特進を受けた。
なんだお前は。子供は大人の話に口出さないでそうなさって寝ちまいなさい。いいね。
状況を正確に把握することも。
It's not the order of events that I do things in.
ただの子供がなぜここにこうしているんです。
大佐、お子さんで
君に乗ってもらう YF19 の設計チーフ、ヤン・ノイマンだ。
こいつが
年齢、性別、人種など、ここでは全く。
I guess we're just dropping sci-fi names all over the place now.
そりゃ失礼。
Newman, famous, you know, if you know von Neumann probes and whatnot.
ああ、紹介しよう。ゼネラルギャラクシー社のテストパイロット、ガルド・ゴア・ボーマン主任だ。
やつが。
Yeah, Bowman. That's not something we haven't heard before.
I'll be honest with you, it's not clicking in my brain. Who is it?
2001.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant from Macross. I know I was just making illusions myself, but I thought you were meant he was descended of somebody.
3日以内には下記完成テストに入れます。
じゃあ、さっきエリア7で見たのは
なかなかいい仕上がりのようだな。君もおちおちしておれんぞ。
無駄な浪費かと思います
が。なんだと？
抑制能力にかけたパイロットのために高価な機体を台無しにすることになるでしょう。
誰のことを言ってんだよ。
Yeah, that really shows off the self-control.
証明してどうする？逃げるなら今のうちだ。荷物の紐を解く手間が省けるぞ。
あの二人知り合いなのかしら。
仲がいいみたい。
No kidding.
どこが？
So I guess the girl is going to show up at some point too. Well, there's one thing this anime doesn't do well, and that's chins.
Talking about self-control, eh?
I don't know, this seems more than a self-control problem.
Notice the pointy ears. They're a clue.
I was literally watching his hand, so I didn't even notice the pointy ears either. I was trying to see if he was taking something, because that looked like a PTSD or a drug issue, or yeah. It's a hell of a simulation chamber. He crashed, he got crushed. I'm sorry, do you want to do this?
こんなんじゃゼネラルギャラクシーの足元にも及びませんよ。聞いてるんですか？
あんまりガチャガチャうるさいこと言うと食っちまうぞ。よー姉ちゃん、 イサムの弔いに一杯付き合わね
Also, you're pointing out the ear thing. You can only assume that means he's a half-breed.
そんなに飛ばしちゃ危ないじゃないの。
Zentradi and, human.
あんたと心中なんかしたくないわよ。
スリリングだろ
Single suicide's good enough for me. I mean, if I was really trying to lean into it, I'd say the green hair. Oh, he must be one of Genius's kids.
昔は森だったらしいよ。その頃山に登った人が。
巨大翼竜を見たってんだろ
あれ、知ってんの？
ダルメシアンハイスクールの暴れん坊とは俺のことよ
やだ、それ早く言ってよ。
おこの歌え違う
シャロンの歌だわ。来るのよ、もうすぐ。すんごい楽しみ。
なんか昔の知り合いの歌に似てるような
それは勘違いね。
え
シャロンは人間じゃないのよ。
人間じゃないま、いっか
Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to be the one person I thought it was going to be. Hey, we're doing advertisements just like Back to the Future. That's a needlessly expensive crosswalk.
皆さん、本日はお集まりいただいてありがとうございます。シャロンアップルギャラクシーツアーの総指揮を担当しております。
She's gonna be her, isn't it?
ご質問
The girl from the opening.
待望のシャロンコンサートにエデン中が熱狂しておりますが、今日はシャロンさんにはお会いできない。
残念ながら彼女は今休養中です。美容のために。
コンピューターが作り出すバーチャロイドアイドルという肩書きを超えて、今や恋人にしたいタレントナンバーワンということですが、
オーナーのレイモンド氏は娘にしたいと。しかし一方では感情のないコンピューターの歌
Oh,
声は
Ryan Reynolds needs to get back to making movies.
専門家もおられますわ。
とんでもない。それを聞いたら彼女は痛く傷つくでしょうな。彼女のハートは
Yeah, they predicted AI supplanting artists
おう
in 1992.
19の方はめちゃめちゃらしいな。
I mean, it's the 90s, sure.
のおかげでうちの掛け率も
Literally, the Discovery Channel has a show airing right now called Beyond 2000, where it literally does the same thing.
おいおい、軍の連中だってほとんどがうちのチームにかけてんだぜ。ありえないさ。
では皆様、3日後、アトランティスドームでお会いしましょう。
本日の記者会見はこれにて終了させていただきます。
So then that also means that the singer is voicing this character, but also that they base the AI's voice on hers. The general director made the AI have her voice. I mean, because the character said that that voice sounds familiar, so it has to be. Look like you're cheating with an alien language.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
Yeah, you remember when Deep Blue came out of the limo when it was matched with Gary Kasparov? God, I remember just the same situation, man. Paparazzi couldn't keep away. I'm sorry, is it supposed to be an AI idol or a magician? What is going on?
Well, it is. I mean, I suppose it's always a little bit of magic if you think about it.
リハには間に合いそう？
Yeah, maybe you live in the 1800s and light and mirrors are magic.
3ポイントほどずれてるわ。 BL ユニットを 1.2 度右に振って。
BL 右だ。
右脳ブロック35の B、 ドーパミンの分泌が悪いよね。
感動の刺激追加しますか？高度 UCL タイプ。
I actually thought we were back at the pilot, since that's actually the thing we showed for the pilot's brain when it was being scanned.
ビンゴビンゴ。
A の10の刺激、もう少し欲しいわね。
ベータエンドルフィン高度を 3% ほど足しときましょう。ミュンさん、
Oh,
お迎えが来ました。
childhood friend's not going to be dead and the brain is in the AI, is it?
午後からスケジュールを組んであります。
I can't. You told me not to spoil. So
I know, I
won't
mean,
spoil.
I'm just throwing that out there because this is such a sci-fi trope, you know? They took an orphan's brain and put it in the machine kind of thing.
いやー、あそこはすごかったね。シャロンちゃんがコンサートするところだろ。いやー、なんたってすごい人気だ。実は私もね、コンサート行きたくて並んだんだけどね、ダメだったのよ。チケット売り切れ。
Well, you should have used Ticketmaster 2040. After the lawsuit, they've kind of changed their ways.
Yeah.
開発は目まぐるしいほどだからな。変わってないのはまだ手つかずの森。
Yeah, I hate to be say it, but your architect's kind of ass. Has no uniting theme to this city.
俺が来てからずっとこの方。へえ、そんなコンピューターの歌なんか聞いて面白いかね。
ただのコンピューターじゃないもの。シャロンの歌はなんかこう聞いてると暗っていい気持ちになっちゃうのよ。本当に何も知らないのね。辺境宇宙って何にも情報が入んないの？
ま、どっちにしろ俺には興味のない話だからな。それよりもっと自然に帰れるような気の利いた場所に行こうぜ。よっと。生身の人間がこう自然と戯れるってな感じのさ。
It's kind of funny they make that mistake, given that they were showing all the other signs written in like weird alien language.
何もねえぜあんなとこ。
自然に帰るならあそこが一番よ。
Is that supposed to imply that she's married?
Why would you say that?
The ring. Sorry, I'm never good with what ring the engagement ring is supposed to be, or what finger the engagement ring is supposed to be on. So I can only imply that the close-up shot of her staring off into space with her hands clearly visible is meant to imply to me that somebody important.
ガルト。どうしてここに？
ニュースで君を見た。エデンに来てるならきっとここに来ると思った。
A real thing about wind farms in our history. I mean, it's first shot show.
来たところで相変わらず何もないところよね。
Oh, is it the same place as the opening too?
Mm-hmm.
いつからエデンにいたんだ。
昨日着いたばかり。7年ぶりよ。知ってるかな、シャロンアップル。ガルドは興味ないか。バーチャリティアイドルなんて。私、今や銀河系ナンバーワン歌手のプロデューサーってわ
Well,
け。
unless they're cloning people, like I thought was happening in Macross.
歌は
Then I guess I was wrong about the brain thing.
やめたわよ。とっくの昔に。ねえ、ガルドは？
新型機のテストさ。砂漠のニューエドワーズ基地でね。
そっか。ガルドも頑張ってるんだ。そうだ。コンサートにいらっしゃいよ。特別に入れてあげる。プロデューサーの職権乱用しちゃう。 今もコンサートの準備をしてきたところなの。きっと最高のコンサートになるわ。ほんとシャロンは最高。
もうよせ。あの時の言葉忘れるんだ。
I'm desperately trying to figure out the mystery of what... I feel like there is a mystery of what happened. Did she fly into a wind farm? Is that why we were looking at the sharpness of the wind farm blades?
なんだ、結構先客がいるぜ。
あらボーマン主任。
久しぶりね、イサム。
Yeah, handled that real cool.
私のこと忘れちゃった？
ああ、学園祭のアイドルミュンさんじゃねえか。ガルドの女になってたとはな。抑制能力に欠けてるのはおめえの方だな。てめえ。
Wait, did this Trotty have elf ears? Sorry, it's just catching up with me. I thought they were supposed to be, like, the same as us, like, to the DNA.
Well, they made the change in order to be able to identify the. It was a stylistic change,
よくエデ
basically.
ンに戻ってくれたもんだな。貴様には渡さない。ミュンもプロジェクトも。
I'll be honest, I could tell that guy was different without the ears. I didn't even notice the ears, and I knew he was different.
私のことは忘れたままで結構よ。今の私はあなたが知ってる頃の私とは違うんだから。
Something happened 7 years ago.
Yep.
あの頃とは違うのよ。
お前には渡さない。
勝手にしな。だけどプロジェクトは譲れないぜ。
貴様のような裏切り者には渡さない。
It seems like they both went out and joined the military after whatever happened.
Oh, Goal is a civilian pilot. He works for the company. Isamu is a military pilot.
追跡カメラ作動オメガ1の映像送られたし。
チェイサー2了解。3了解。チェイサー1了解。
Remember how I crashed the simulator yesterday?
記録の任務だけで十分
This
です。
is a good idea.
ちょっと邪魔してどうすんのよ。本ちゃん乗れなくなったって知らないからね。
そんなに怒るとそばかす増えるぜ。
Some people like freckles.
That's what he's saying.
了解。
But it's not what he's saying. He just brings out more freckles. He didn't imply one way or the other.
Yeah, but her
俺が
anger.
ワンよりタワーへ。
Yeah.
オペレーションエリアに。
He didn't imply that he liked freckles one way or the other. He might be trying to shame her into not being angry.
オメガ1、ミラードだ。これよりボンバー9に遠隔誘導ドローン20機による演習攻撃を命じる。今回のテストは敵弾回避能力並びに空戦能力の判定だ。70% 以上の成果を求む。
了解。ただし 100% を保証します。
よろしい。
At least they've been consistent with the UN Spacey logo all this time.
実力の差を思い知るがいい。ステルス。
Stealth. Now that that sound effect sounded they came out of Star Wars.
It's definitely not Gundam anymore, so I'm happy with that. Are you even on the same mission? I just don't get what the machoism is coming from here. You're testing two different planes. If he's got a better plane, he's got a better plane.
Yeah, but remember he's better. Well, he's a camera plane in order to showcase what's going on. That's what his job is. He's not testing.
Okay,
his
I
other
thought
plane.
he was testing his plane. That's
No,
why
no.
I was like, are
Those-
you even on the same test? That's why it would make no sense.
Yeah.
Cool, Bill and Ted are traveling through time. Not great when a camera plane loses you.
心配ありません。YF21 が回避した演習弾です。命中しても危険はありません。
冗談じゃねえ。ガルドのタコに買わせてこの俺にできねえはずが。
オメガ1ドローン実機を君の
I mean, it kind of ruined his test too. Oh my god, it's so amazing. He missed all the missiles. And then the ordinary camera plane behind you does the same fucking thing.
That's kind of like the point that he's trying to make. It isn't the plane, it's the pilot.
Well, he's not proving it by ruining the
Oh,
plane.
that's true.
Kuso, ブースター域じゃコントロールが。
あと1機。
貴様、何のつもりだ。
Why'd you open your cockpit up? Oh man, don't tell me our main character's a rapist. I know this is a heavy trope in anime in the 90s.
Yeah.
メガワン、トラブル発生。データノイズ増加。異常信号増大中。
異常体制発令。オメガ1直ちに脱出せよ。
異常体制発令。自力で回復します。繰り返す。異常体制。オメガ1早く脱出しよう。持ち直します。
I mean, it's not great for a mental control system that you have to be calm the entire time to control it.
レーサー3、アクシデントポイントに向けて急行中。650、600、550。効果率変わりません。450、400。今までは危険です。350、300、250、200。
チェイサー1早く救助するか。サムライとパイロット資格を取り消すぞ。聞こえてるのか、チェイサー1。
You mean what, the guy who caused the fucking problem to begin with? Hey, no tire screeching noises though. You gotta be happy about that.
Yeah.
ここでもし YF21 にダウンフォースを発生させたら奴は
I was actually thrown for a moment. Because he thought that out, and then he did it, and I was thrown by his own play confusion sound.
I mean, he thought it, but he didn't mean to do it, so it was like, oh.
No,
shit.
there you go. I actually thought that he meant to do it, and then was playing it up for like the recording, or whoever's listening to him, to make it sound like he didn't. God, that rusted real quick. This is a real Forbidden Planet kind of thing going on, huh?
てめえよくもやってくれたな。
ほう、生きていたのか。悪運の強いやつだ。
貴様、まさかわざと。
It's a hard argument.
すまんな。事故だよ。
It was both an accident and he wanted it to happen, so it's kind of... Because if he didn't want it to happen, the plane wouldn't have done it. I guess my thing is while Golg has some real fucking problems, I have to support him on the duality side because it looks like our main character is a fucking rapist. And I'm not going to support that guy.
I mean, you wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't. You wouldn't.
So, I mean, I don't even know why you would pull that card in this. I mean, unless it's going to be one of those, like, her emotional journey through, like, recovery and everything and what has happened to her since then is the main impetus, and for some reason we're focusing on these two to tell her story, which would then be the story. I'm still assuming some brain's coming on. The brain thing is happening, and that's going to be Sharon Apple's story. But I still don't know why you would focus on him, then. You can't get away from the fact he's the villain here. Unless it's a misunderstanding story, and he's not, and he's just the first person who arrived on the scene to help her after the fact, but the look on your face does not tell me that. God, Dr. Movie has been in anime forever. I don't know how far back I can still go and still see Dr. Movie in the credits. Sorry, I had to pivot away from the R word.
I mean, this is one of the problems, but this is a spoiler.
Yeah,
Right,
I know, and
but
you
it's-
can't defend anybody or anything like that because defending them would be a spoiler, which is something commenters have to learn in reaction videos. Defend them later. I'm not so solid in my thoughts as not be able to change my mind later. Hey, the Borderline, isn't that a Madonna song?
No.
It is, actually. It's Borderline is a Madonna song.
I mean, yeah, but this Borderline is not a Madonna song.
Yeah, I guess obviously the thing to say here for anyone who's already complaining that I fucking talked too much is that there was already too much going on. I was already getting overwhelmed trying to read everything in the background. This is one of those that I'm gonna, like, if you watched any of the Gundam reactions, any of the, maybe not so much Fear In, but a lot of the shows on here, Legend of the Galactic Heroes, is gonna be one of those that I watch again, slowly, pausing a lot, and take a lot of notes for in my own time.
I mean, they do throw a lot of stuff at you in this first episode. It's like, you see the first scene, and then they jump to a fight, and there's like Isam was basically what's his name? He's Maverick, right? He's the Maverick of the show, right? He's the loose cannon. But then you have the other guy who's supposed to be calm and collected, but he also has anger problems. and they all know each other. And then there's there's the idol thing. You're like, okay, so what the hell does that fit? And they were here before because they're all from Eden. So it's like they just keep throwing stuff at you. Boom, boom, boom,
Well,
boom, boom,
it's
one
not
after the
only
other.
that. It's not only that, but there's also only 4 episodes, so I've got to understand it now. If I'm not going to understand it at all,
Hmm.
and we're doing 2 episodes today, so I don't even get that little pause minute to do anything with. But I'm also the kind of person who likes to read the background stuff, right?
Hmm.
And I'm also somebody who likes to try and live in the world, so I will
Hmm.
understand what's going on here
Yeah.
to understand all of those bits. But there was a lot of background text, right? And I want to read all that. And every time their screen popped up, they gave us stats on the. That's the joke I was trying to make in the moment. That I'm thinking, I can't stop my eyes from looking at people's busts. And his bust size comes up every time they read, and for some reason, it's right where my eye goes. It's like I don't. It's not even sexy. My eye's going right there. But yeah, no, they're giving us a lot of stats. Not even like the main what's going on in the front. There's the stuff being in the background to read. Stuff is being implied too, and I'm trying to. I like the scene where she's just standing there looking off into the sky. And it's like, okay, well, you've shown us the art. The art is only keeping my eyes' attention for like 5 seconds. What else are you showing me? And it's like, okay, she's got a ring on. That's the only thing that's jumping out of me. So is she married? Is that the ring that you wear your engagement ring on, or your wedding ring? And I can never tell. So it's like maybe that's the implication. I'm supposed to be looking at her, trying to
Hmm.
pull out every bit of information I can from maybe how she's standing, the way she dresses, what accoutrement does she have. Like her earrings are fucking weird because they look like little, not hook earrings, but they look like bits of computer circuits or something. I don't know. And then she has a ring on her hand. Is she married? And then that reads differently now that I know that what's gone on in her past. Or like how when they're focusing on the wind turbines, right? And then for some reason it follows the wind turbine and gives the edge kind of like this shine to it. It's like, was that like to imply sharp object, like a knife, like something gets cut? Did somebody fly into a wind turbine? I'm trying to read the minor things because I got hit with
Hmm.
so much front information. Now I'm afraid that I missed too much, and now I'm trying to micro read every situation afterwards.
Yeah. Again, there's a lot of stuff there, and you know, hopefully the up episodes have slowed down a little bit, and it kind of feels very much like Zero as well, because the first episode was like boom, 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 and then like, oh, okay, we get the.
I think you're misremembering Zero. Zero
Mhm.
was a lot of fight porn, if you remember.
That's true.
It
Yeah.
was it was maybe like boom boom boom. Let's get into a dog fight. Boom boom dog fight. It was a
Yeah.
lot of space in between
Yeah. True.
information dumps. Plus, it was the first thing. It was the very first thing, and it started off close to our time. Well,
True.
technically, it starts off in the past, but in the realm of what's different from our world, World War III, and that's it. We're basically could have been living in right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Versus this is space colony. Are we at war with the Zentradi? What's going on? you know, I mean, assumingly as you're pointing out, this is Zentradi. It's like, of course, we're at war with Zentradi. As far as we know it, or as far as I know it, there's multiple Zentradi fleets out there, so we're kind of what should be fighting Zentradi all over the goddamn place.
Yeah.
We only
Although it
made
seems that
friends with one group of Zentradi.
yeah, well, although it seems that the UN forces are now in a much better position, like they have entire fleets now, right? So
See, again, that's another thing that doesn't make sense if you really think about it. We got one automated factory, right? And like went from there for over 20 years. How many automated factories are out there? We
yeah,
got
those are
a 1% advantage, and then it's try to have 99% of the advantage for having all the other facilities.
well, I mean, it is implied basically that they destroyed the core of the Centrati forces in the Battle of Earth,
Right, right. I
right?
just
And
mean that we got one thing, and the Centrati should have a bunch more of them. This really feels like to me is Stargate, right? That we show up as the underdog, and through the hubris and stupidity of the people who run the galaxy, we just kind of kept taking and taking until we were the best people out there.
Basically.
Yeah. I mean, on one hand, sure, I guess, makes sense. On the other hand, kind of dumb if you think about it.
I mean, Centrality were never the sharpest knives in the shed, you know.
They couldn't fix their own ships. I'm not arguing that they were geniuses. Fulmo is a genius. He's a Centrati. Technically, they have to have some geniuses. But, I mean, come on. Come on. It's like if an ant took over your kitchen. It'd be really weird. Sorry, I can't go in there. This is an ant who keeps turning the knife around every time I go in there. I think he might be figuring it out. Anyway, I guess, as you know, I'm gonna have a big old note section when we hit episode 3. Or, hopefully I do. If I come back at you, it's like, I had no notes. I'm too dumb. Too dumb for this. That'd be a real disappointment for the future.
I mean, we do have a time skip about 20 years. And there's a couple of things I know that I'm not mentioning because I don't want to ruin things. But yeah.
Don't leak out the interconnectedness of the story of Macross or whatever. Well, I mean, obviously I don't have any more thoughts. I think the biggest ones are the ones that kind of, I don't want to use the word that comes to mind, just wreck the episode. Because, the big R. It's hard to move forward with any takeaway when I've got that dangling around in the back of my head of, why am I following this guy? God, I wish he had died in that accident now. It's a hard follow.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything final from you before we move on?
No, that's it.
All right. Well, again, this has been Stone-Faced Reactions. I'm Theta. This is Lessons, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?